Hello, my friends, and welcome to my review of one of the most anticipated films of 2017. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, 3 years ago in 2014, when Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out, I had never heard about these guys, and I'm not a big comic book fan or Marvel or DC or anything, but I've been pretty impressed, for the most part, with the Marvel studio and what they've been producing out in theaters. And when Guardians of the Galaxy was released, I honestly did not care, but I was fascinated because the director was James Gunn, and I really liked Slither, and I liked the cast. And when the first teaser came out, I didn't know what to make of it, but I remember going, this looks interesting. And after seeing the original Guardians of the Galaxy film, it became one of my favorite science fiction comedy films of all time. I just absolutely was blown away. And maybe because I didn't really have that many expectations, it just exceeded anything that I was expecting. I just absolutely loved that film. So, of course, when that movie was coming out, I think even before the film was actually released, they'd already announced a sequel. Thankfully, the first film was a great film, and it was worthy of more. And of course, it's Marvel, and they're all going to connect to somehow, and it's going to hurt my brain, and I'm going to eventually not want any of these movies anymore, or will I? I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if we're going to have so much. But in the meantime, I just love a science fiction. I love science fiction, comedy, drama, horror. I love it. You know, we got an Alien movie coming out in a few weeks that I'm very excited about as well. But of course, since I was so in love with the original Guardians of the Galaxy, and it just blew me away, I was happy to finally get a chance to see the brand new sequel tonight. And of course, I believe there's going to be a third one. They're probably working on it tomorrow, or they've already started. I saw it tonight with a friend. We went to the IMAX 3D, true IMAX 3D. And the movie, of course, was in 2.35 aspect ratio, but there were scenes where it did expand when the action started and stuff like that. Now, for the most part, everybody comes back from the original film, everybody who survived the original film. So if you've seen the original film, then you know that for the most part, everybody's coming back. All the cast and the characters that we love. There's some new characters played by Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. And was there anybody else that was new that I could see? Well, there were some surprises, and I'm going to try really hard to be vague about my feelings and not spoil anything in this review, but I imagine that most people have probably seen this already. But in the end, I just don't want to spoil anything, what I liked and what I didn't like about the film. Now, what I will say, a film like this, you know, because the last one was so incredible. I mean, it was. It's really, there's a lot more things going on in my mind as I'm watching this movie, because I'm like, okay, will it exceed the original? Will it match the original? Will it be as fun as the original? And will I be okay if it doesn't really get to the heights of how I feel about the original film? And now that I've seen it, now that I've watched it, I am completely satisfied with this movie. I completely enjoyed it, and I'm fine with the things I had issues with and the things that I loved. And in the end, I don't think it lived up to the original film, and I kind of really tried my hardest to go, okay, I'm fine if this movie does not match the originality of the original film. I'm fine with that, because we know all these characters. We just want to see them go on another venture together. We want them to have great chemistry. We want the humor to hit. We want the visuals to be spectacular, and we just want to have a good time. We want to be completely entertained. And of course, since you're seeing it in IMAX 3D, you want it to be loud and large, and you want the visuals, the 3D to work and stuff like that. And for the most part, all of that completely worked. I can't say I walked away disappointed by anything that I witnessed. It just, for me, didn't really, make me love it more than how I felt about the first film. Now, James Gunn, I think, is a talented filmmaker. I think he is a great filmmaker, and he's an unusual one as well. I know the guy had dabbled in a lot of weird indie filmmaking with, I believe, Trauma. I believe he started his career with Trauma and that crew. And I get a sense of that. He just has a larger budget, and he understands how to get a team together to not only give us great visuals, but wonderful makeup, and the humor hits more than half of the time. It's just there are so many wonderful jokes that hit. There's some stuff that I felt missed, and I felt like it was a little over the top and a little inappropriate, probably for the younger audience. They might not need to see some of those things or hear about some of those things just yet. Give them a chance to be a child. But for the most part, I felt like everybody just really got back in together again. I cared about them. I sympathized with them at times when there was more danger in the film, and I felt like what really worked in this movie most of all, more than the characters and the story, which I felt were fine. I think the characters are all great, some more than others, but for the most part, I loved everyone in the film. Kurt Russell was great as an addition to the film. There were some other things I don't want to spoil, where some people had smaller parts that I wish had bigger parts in the movie, and maybe in the third one they will. But overall, what really ultimately worked in this film was just how beautiful the film looks. The spectacle of it all, the colors, the brights, even in 3D. I mean, the 3D was incredible. I recommend the best way to see this film is in a true IMAX theater with the 3D, because you will have an incredible experience. It was just so exciting to look at. And even though I wasn't as emotional as I was watching the first film, I remember really getting more emotional with that movie and the characters and their how they interacted with each other. But near the end, the ending, just even though it did get a little long, and there was some issues that I had with it, of how, how crazy it gets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean, I know that this is a comic book movie, and I know that these somewhat superheroes, and there's real whatever. You got to kind of turn your brain off and go, okay, the sense of danger is not really there in the room. I didn't really have that sense of like, oh my gosh, could somebody die? Anybody going to die in this film? So that sense of like being worried, I don't think was there. But the movie looked great. It flew by really fast. It was it was over 2 hours, and it was enjoyable for the most part. I mean, I just had a great time just looking at it. I think like half of the movie, my mouth was just like, wow. I mean, this was so cool, and I enjoyed the music. I loved. The musical score, I don't remember it too well. But I enjoyed the soundtrack, the new, volume mixtape, volume 2. A lot of great hits in there. I don't really want to say, but I was pleasantly surprised with the tracks that were chosen in the movie, and it just added another emotional level to the film that was kind of lacking when it came to some of the darker moments that appear in the film, when some of the things that are the revelations that are unraveled in the movie. I don't know what else to say right now without spoiling anything, but I just had a really great time. It was great to be back in this world, and I don't know how it's going to connect with the future films, especially when it comes to Infinity Wars and stuff like that. I don't understand all that or anything. Even though I will tell you, there was a lot of moments that I felt were fan service. This wasn't an experience where I felt cheated by not being a fan of the original material. So there was lots of scenes where the fans got really excited, and I was like, this is cool. I actually think that's quite interesting. I don't know where that's going, but I can understand that that's one's for the fans. So I feel like the movie is made for fans and people that are just outsiders, that just love the original film and love the personality that comes out. Acting overall was quite incredible, even though I wasn't blown away ultimately for the journey of the characters that much, but I loved a lot of the surprises that happen as well, and found the film to be completely enjoyable, awesome, and excellent, even though maybe it just did not live up to the original. And I honestly tried to not expect that this time. I just kind of going like, I just want to be entertained. I want to see some great visuals. I want to have fun. I want to laugh. There was a lot of humor in this movie, and I just love Baby Groot. I think Baby Groot might be my favorite element of the entire film. Now, which is also included in my ultimate favorite part of the entire film. The movie just looks great. I mean, it's just incredible to look at. It's a beautiful looking film, whether it's green screen or sets or just CGI or practical effects or makeup effects. There should be a lot of technical awards that should be at least nominated for this gorgeous looking film, and I thought it was a solid sequel to an original masterpiece that I thought was a classic. Not perfect like the original film, but in my eyes, a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see these guys go on their next adventure together. All right, everyone, I am going to give Guardians of the Galaxy, which I saw in IMAX 3D, Volume 2, of course, I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 4.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.